scared if I hit some. What's up, guys? In this video we're going to try to build a 10-foot by 8-foot barn door that weighs 400 pounds. Buckle up, let's go. Alrighty, so first things first, you want to make sure you have a good design, which I did do on this job, so that I can get my material list in order and get everything that I need to do the job correct. So what I used here was Cedar 2x6 and 2x4 for all my battens and rails, and Cedar 1x6 for the main surface area of the door. And what I'm doing here is I used a dado blade in my table saw to rip about a 1/2 inch dado out, and I set the saw a little off center so that when I was finished ripping this dado, I would have an 11/16 opening. So while I'm working hard on this, Gil is in the other room preparing the 1x6 tongue and groove, and that's what we did for this one on a router table. We ripped a little tongue and groove on the 1x6 and left a little penny gap, a gap big enough to fit a penny through. And here you can see me clearing out this channel for any imperfections left over by the dado blade. And then I'm going to test it out with the 1x6 and make sure I have the desired opening. Everything fits tight. Now let's check out that router table. Now I think I forgot to show the actual groove, but you can see here is the tongue. So we ripped all those out and then we ripped the tongues out. Alright, we got all the pieces cut. We used tongue and groove for the rails and the bats. So let me show you. Kind of like a mortise and tenon here. Essentially, you know, tongue, big old groove. It's a 11/16 to allow one of the 1x6 to slip in all the way around everywhere so that the door can connect to itself. So we're going to start trying to assemble it. So during the assembly, what I use is a lot of wood glue just to secure the 1x6 into my 11/16 groove down at the bottom, just to give it a little extra something for holding on. And towards the end of the assembly, I actually used lag bolts to tie the 2x6 bottom rail into the 2x4 top bats. So I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit and, you know, let the door build itself. Just checking back in with you, make sure nobody's falling asleep. So here we are near the end of the door assembly, and everything worked out perfectly. Mind you, there's no nails in this door right now. It's just glue, tongue and groove, or mortise and tenon, however you care to look at it. So with everything lined up, it's time to put on the final batten and then squeeze that top on. So what I use here is this ratchet strap because I don't have a 10-foot clamp, or one even close to that length by that matter. So quick check in with the boss man, and we get this top piece put on. There she is. What a beaut. So now it's time to attach the cross pieces. Just give me a little added support and also gives it an awesome appearance. So what I did was I just used 1x4 and ripped it down to about a 1/2 inch. So instead of being 3/4 by 3.5 inches, now it's only a 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches, which allows me to lay it right on top of that 1x6 to have a nice clean finish on the fronts and back sides of this door. So not only does it look great, but it also gives me a little support to help keep this door square. And I don't get too crazy technical when I do this. I kind of just hold it where I want it, make some marks, draw a line, and then cut those marks on the saw. And to attach these pieces, I just applied a liberal amount of glue to the back of this 1x4 and use a crown stapler with 5/8" staples. Because the staples aren't too intrusive, you don't see them too much, and it helps tie everything together. Alright, so we got the door built, everything's ready to go. We're going to crate it and get it on the truck, ship it out to the job site. So next is going to be installation. What's up, peoples? We are here for install day. We've got our big old barn door ready to go. Got this 20-foot 4x8. What I plan on doing is I'm going to attach to this further pole out here, and then I'm actually going to notch out this plywood siding, you know, the dimensions of the beam, and then within the beam itself I'm going to notch out the 2x4s so that when I stick it up, the beam is going to kind of grab the 2x4, so it'll be halfway inside the wall, halfway outside the wall, and it's going to stretch this span to help support the track for this barn door. I think that's all the details, so let's get going. So with all the hardware attached, we got a plan of action here. Start making our marks and cut this opening. Alright, we got the hole cut. Now we have our measurements for our notch. So now we're going to prepare the beam for to mount it. Come on. So with the beam marked out, all we have to do is set our saw to the proper depth. I think for this particular application I set it down to about 1.25 inches and just make about 1,000 cuts. These cuts are technically called relief cuts. Once all these cuts are made, we're going to go with our chisel, kind of knock out all those little slots, and then smooth out the rest of it, so that when it's time to install, it just slips right in where it's supposed to go. everything prepped. Got our beam notched out. Here, I'll twist it up for you so you can see. So if our calculations are correct, this ought to go in perfectly. So here we go. So this is always a part of the job. It gets me a little anxious because we're lifting a 150-pound beam above our heads, and it has to meet in a specific location while on top of ladders, and we don't want to get hurt. So if you can see right about my hip level and Gil's knee levels, it looks like some wood attached to the wall. And what I do there is I mount just little, I call them emergency, holders. So we can kind of stage the lifting of the beam. I put it up on one emergency, then the other, and then we're ready to put it into its slot. With the beam attached, lag secured, take off the emergencies, and it's time to mount the track. And I found a really useful, utilitarian, strong, sturdy track at Tractor Supply. It's not typical interior barn door hardware. This is actual rolling door hardware. And I was supremely pleased with this product. It was easy to use, strong, and did what it was supposed to. Now this was a doozy. How do I lift a 300-pound door 2 feet off the ground? I tried using a toolbox. That didn't cut it. Tried using a bigger toolbox, and I actually enlisted the help of the client's son. With a little bit of help, we were able to slide it right on, and everything worked as planned. Now, I just finished attaching all the bells and whistles, trim a little bit out here and there, and this job is as good as done. So hey, thanks for watching. This has been a backyard barn door, Texas size build. We had a lot of fun doing this. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Didn't know you were still here. Come on in. See some of the ceiling that we did. A little sneak peek, little extra.